Hello, and welcome to Cocktails with a Twist of History, your digital destination for all things cocktails. It's not often I reference current news with history, but here's a reference to an old cocktail, the French 75, and the latest 2026 Oscar winner One Battle After Another. Paul Thomas Anderson's 2025 film One Battle After Another talks about the French 75, referring to a violent far-left revolutionary group involved in armed resistance. The French 75 is 1960s politics, and it's parallel to the World War I era cocktail, the French 75. That brings us to the history of the cocktail, the French 75. It's a gin cocktail that's really a Tom Collins, gin, lemon, sugar, and soda, with one change, the substitution of champagne for soda water. Look for the episode about the Tom Collins. It's a great story itself. During World War I, there was a common artillery gun called the French 75, a 75mm shell. In Europe, they would have had access to gin and champagne, so it was easy for them to make this cocktail. In 1919, Harry McEllan published the ABC of Mixing Drinks, and inside he lists a recipe for a drink called the French 75, created by a bartender named McGarry. This is from Buck's Club in London. The story might be disputed, but the French 75 is a classic cocktail created during World War I, named after the powerful French 75mm field gun, and it was said to have a strong kick. Actually, I'm not sure if he meant the drink or the gun, which had the kick. But the drink gained fame during Prohibition, and it was considered a luxurious, potent drink frequently served in Paris. And after Prohibition, it was popularized in New Orleans. Okay, I have been talking way too long without a drink in my hand. Let's make a French 75. So it is a shaken cocktail, and we have our shaker, and we are going to put in our 2 ounces of gin. Now we are going to put in a ½ ounce of fresh lemon juice. Here we go. And we're going to put in a ½ ounce of a simple syrup. So far, it is just like a Tom Collins. The difference is we are going to shake this up with our ice, and then we're going to put it into a champagne flute, and then we're going to top it with sometimes champagne, sometimes we use sparkling wine. Here we're going to use sparkling wine just because I don't have any champagne on me. Here we go. We're going to put in our plenty of ice, right? Don't forget, we still need our plenty of ice in the shaker. Lots and lots of ice, right? Actually, here I have a couple of different size ice. Doesn't matter. And we are going to put on the top, and we are going to shake. This does not need a lot of shaking. It does need to just get cold and to get mixed up. There we go. And you can see already it's cold. So we are going to put it into our champagne flute. Wow, almost full. That is a little bit too much, but it's okay because I don't use so much of whatever it is that's bubbling. And this doesn't usually get a garnish, but I am going to put in a lemon peel just because. Here we go. Let's try it. Cheers. Ooh, very nice. So, very similar to the Tom Collins, right? You have that gin, you have the lemon, you have the sugar, and that's the basis for quite a few of our drinks, But here, with the addition of the champagne, it does really give it a much more elegant feel. Plus, I get to use this champagne glass, which I don't get to use very often. There's a story that the cocktail, when it was made in World War I, was actually made in the 75mm shell casing that was used from the cannon. And I do not believe that. It sounds just like a good bar story. I heard, though, that in the 1919 recipe in the ABC, it was just called a 75 and not a French 75. I did find a version in a 1927 book called Here's How, by a bartender named Judge Jr., terrible name for a cocktail book. There was a recipe over there, and it is as we know it and the one I made here. Judge Jr. also has an interesting poem in the opening of his book that he claims he wrote at the age of 10. O poet, sing of stein of ale, and mugs of old Jamaica, but the only vessel for a sail is the good old cocktail shaker. Well, if you know other pieces of the story, we want to know it. Please, you can put it in the comments, you can send it to us by email, or you can tell it to the bottle. We want to know. Also, please make sure to like and to follow and subscribe and to send a link of this show so other people can enjoy Cocktails with a Twist of History. Thank you.